Hello everybody, and welcome to a short little Destiny 2 video on what Stasis build I have been using for Gambit. Now, I know, before we get into the build, I know I haven't posted any Destiny 2 content in a while because I've been playing things like Warframe, Destiny 2, Warframe, Devil May Cry 5, and just other games because I've just been bored with this game. So I literally... I just haven't been playing this game at all. Like, I've gone weeks, almost a month straight of just not playing this game because it's just gotten boring. So, even when Solar 3.0 came out, I pretty much almost started like a month off, or almost like a month and a half. Basically, I don't have any Solar Void I don't have a Solar Void Arc or Stasis build for Gambit that I've been using because I'm playing other games. And because I have no confidence in making build videos anyways, but I just wanted to make a Stasis build video because I felt like maybe you guys are curious if I do use one for Gambit, or, just felt like I should make a Stasis build video because I feel like I should. So, let's get into the build. Now, first of all, there's only the two exotics that you are going to need is the Aegir Scepter. This should be like a damn no-brainer for this, except because the Aegir Scepter, it's literally the thing. Final blows will slow nearby targets and potentially kill them. It's Riga's refrain is Stasis final blows transfer ammo to this weapon's magazine from reserves, and then the will give them 4 more drain super energy, and you basically have an unlimited overpowered beam. And you need the Mantle of Battle Harmony. Now, I know this roll is absolute garb, but this is the one that I had on me, so I figured, hey, why don't I just use it? And just in case you're wondering what shader and stuff I'm using, just in case you guys are into the fashion shows, or in case you're into fashion Destiny, this is what I'm using. All Gambit Chrome with all these ornaments and whatnot. So, getting properly into the build, you need Aegir Scepter, and I recommend running a Stasis heavy weapon. I'll show you in a minute. But running a Stasis heavy weapon like the Bump in the Night, which I know I have Warp on this thing. I got Warp on it when it wasn't nerfed. That's why. And you can use a Chain of Command, which I do actually recommend because it has like Demolitionist. Now, Chain of Command, and because machine guns recently got buffed for PvE, and I really do recommend this machine gun. Now, you can use some like Osmosis, but that's useless. Like, these are really good. This combo right here. And then for your Stasis aspects and fragments, now this is what I'm using. I'm using all the standard stuff up here with a Duskfield grenade. Now, you could use these grenades, but they're garbage. This is the one you want to be using. Now, you want Glacial Harvest so you can actually generate your Stasis shards to begin with. And this one, and then this one, you can actually kind of play around with this one. Bleak Watcher, which generates allows you to hold your grenade and use the turret. This one's nice, but you can swap it for something like, I think Ice Flare Bolts. You could probably swap it around. I haven't tested this one, but you can use both of these, and I think they'll work perfectly. Now, the fragments we're using this one to begin with. Defeating frozen targets grants you super energy, just so you can have more super energy for the Aegir Scepter and using your super in general. And then you have Whisper of Rhyme, which allows you to gain Overshield when you collect a Stasis shard, so that you can survive. You have survivability. Then you got Whisper of Whisper of Conduction, which allows so you don't gotta actually walk over to a Stasis shard; it will just come to you. Because I tried using shit. Where is it? I think it's this one. No, where is it? It's this one. Where you're defeating Slaughter Frozen targets grants you class ability energy. That one didn't do me anything. Now, you could swap to that one if you use this, the Frost Pulse, but I don't do that. So, I found this one to be useless, so I decided to be lazy and actually not walk over to your Stasis shards. And then you want Whisper of Torment, so that way each time you get damaged, you gain grenade energy. Now, this shouldn't be a problem because of this. You should just be able to survive and gain more grenades. Now, for your energy weapon, you can pretty much play around with it, but I recommend some that has Demolitionist, so that you can just focus on your grenades. Now I know I'm saying so much about grenades, but okay. So the first, you want a helmet. Now I should be using a stasis helmet, because if I'm not mistaken, a stasis helmet can give you somewhere you... Nah. But you want Font of Might, so that when you pick up a stasis shard, okay. Yeah, you want Font of Might, so that way when you pick up a stasis elemental well, you can gain a damage buff for something like your Aegir Scepter or your Bump in the Night or Chain of Command. There's also a grenade launcher. Shit, I forgot the name of it. Let me go over and show you. There's a Stasis grenade launcher. And if you actually played during one of the Dawning events, there's a Stasis sword. What is it called? I'm not going to pronounce the name of it, because I think I may even have it on me, but it's the Zephyr. This sword, or the Zephyr, this sword's really good if you have some like cold steel, which I do. But that one's also really good. There's also a grenade launcher, a Stasis grenade launcher that's really good. This one right here, the Talon G5. This one can get some good rolls. The roll I want is either Demolitionist or Wellspring in the first slot, but use a Stasis heavy weapon and then get Font of Might, so that way you get damage buffs for those two weapons and the Aegir Scepter. On my gauntlets when it shows up, you want Protective Light, just so that way you can just take less damage overall. Just that way you can, you know, survive, and that way the ads don't decide to rape you when they freaking want to. So yeah, you want the Mantle of Battle Harmony with Energy Converter, so that way when you throw your grenade, you don't only just generate super. You don't just freeze your target and generate the shards. You gain super energy. It's like a quick buff. It's like a quick bump in your super energy, so that way you can just quickly get a couple points of super energy. You want elemental charge, so that way when you pick up a Stasis elemental well, you gain the stacks charge of light, so that way you can use energy converter. And then the most important thing you want, and I recommend putting this on your bond, is elemental shards, where when you pick up a Stasis shard, you gain Stasis shards act as elemental wells for you. So that way you can pick up the Stasis shards that you get either from the Aegir Scepter, by freezing a target with either your melee or a grenade, or I think if you have something like Chill Clip, I think that also works, or the Cold Steel for the sword. But whenever you pick up a Stasis shard, you will be able to trigger elemental wells by collecting a shard, which you're gonna do a bunch. You're just gonna do a bunch. And then, yeah, so that is the build that, essentially a build that allows me to, for one, survive because of the Stasis fragment that allows me to gain health and shield and overshield when I pick up a elemental shard from Aegir Scepter or from a grenade itself or melee. And then elemental shards on your bond allows you to trigger elemental charge, which therefore triggers energy converter, so you can get a quick, I think it's like a 20% bump in your super for grabbing for throwing a grenade. And then Protective Light, so that when energy converter doesn't proc at all, you can trigger Protective Light. That's kind of the thing with my builds. I do like charge with light builds, but I like using Protective Light as a backup, because things like energy converter, where it will only work if you have below 50% of your super. If you have above 50% of your super, energy converter simply put just won't work. So I want Protective Light, so that way when I do take a bunch of damage, I gain damage reduction, and my stacks are not just sitting there. So that way I'm always using my stacks of charge with light, and they're not just sitting there idly. And then you got some like Font of Might or absorption cells, because because with Mantle of Battle Harmony, either when you deal damage with an energy matching your subclass, you gain more super energy, or you just outright gain a damage bonus for the weapon if your super is full. so either from the Font of Might or the Mantle of Battle Harmony, you're gaining a damage buff for both the Aegir Scepter and the Bump in the Night, or whatever Stasis heavy weapon that you have. So, yeah, that is my build. You need the Aegir Scepter, and I recommend a Stasis heavy weapon, so that way you can get the damage buff, but you don't have to use a Stasis heavy weapon, but it's just recommended. So that way it triggers for both. You want your energy weapon to have some like Demolitionist or Wellspring, so that way your abilities are just up all the time. I would recommend Demolitionist because you want to focus on that. But if you don't, use Wellspring. And again, these are the aspects and the fragments. Glacial Harvest, Bleak Watcher, play around with this one. Whisper of Bonds, Whisper of Rhyme, Whisper of Conduction, and Whisper of Torment. And you want a Duskfield Grenade. No other grenade will all work, but Duskfield's the best. On your helmet, you want Font of Might for a damage buff for all your weapons. You want Protective Light on your gauntlets, so that way when Energy Converter on your chest piece doesn't proc, your stacks of Charge with Light are not just sitting there idly, doing nothing. You want Elemental Charge and Elemental Charge, so that way you can actually, have stacks Charge with Light. So, yeah, that's the Stasis build that I have been using for Gambit recently, and hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. I greatly appreciate it. And if you want, and if you enjoyed this, if you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button for more videos like this one right here. If you're the gameplay, in my opinions, tips, hopefully helpful, or just general gameplay that you probably don't care about. And if you want me to make more Destiny 2 builds in the future, because I do plan on making builds for other characters, not the Titan, because I simply just don't play Titans. So all of you fisty boys or girls out there, you're not going to see any fisting Titan builds, because I don't play Titan. I literally have nothing on there. You'll see bouncing hunters and sexy robe wearing warlocks on this channel. So yeah, you won't see fisting Titans on here. You may get lucky and I may, but I probably won't. So again, if you enjoyed, leave a like, really appreciate it. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Stay warm, stay healthy, and yeah, I love you all. Mwah.